and move on with my life. Things could have worse, but without you I survive. And it's a true fight I me see when me look on my life. Year 2025. Yeah. For the 25 are bigger things. The more we lose, but we still a win. Yeah. Until the dogs them a rivalry. And the dead are dead face on our body. We are live, love and laugh. Who no real, we just cut them off. Have a poo in our life too short. They are breed the stock shot and I invest smart for the 2020.
Listen all day, every day on your favorite streaming platform. The Clean Fresh Sound. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And like we do every Monday to Friday at 7:45, we're back with more talk time on Activated Mornings, and our special co-host at this time is Mr. Kingsley DeFreitas, who would usually bring us his commentary, and he is already on the line. So Kingsley, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I listened to Traffic Talk a while ago, and I suggest to myself that man probably had some snail for breakfast. He moved like an old-time student who I could hardly go. I said, wow.
Oh, gosh, Kingsley is the message, not the messenger. Yeah. Oh, gosh, Kingsley.
Yeah, but the message is important. But I listened to Peter this morning, and it's another interesting topic, right? But here what happened. Every time in convincing there is a problem in humanity is most often time men and boys are to be blamed. Okay? And I don't know if the statistics show that that's a fact. But it have some men who are quality fathers. They have a relationship with a particular gender. I'm referring to a woman here. And then they have a child or children. And for some reason, the relationship fall apart and the man appears to be a stranger in the child or children's life. And that's a terrible thing because I believe that women take advantage of the situation and they put their ex in a compromising position, and then people have all negative things to say about the man not making the effort to generate any relationship with the children or child. And the man is doing that because he's keeping himself away from the hostility that is coming towards him from the child mother, which is his ex. And, you know, it is frightening, It is really frightening because let me tell you something. I had a son, he was 23 years old when he died. The last time I saw him before he died, he was 6 years old. His mother and I fell out, and we hadn't had a relationship until about 3 years before he died. I found out quite recently that his mother was responsible for not encouraging a relationship between me and him. So when she found out that he's making an effort to speak to me, she reminded him that I am your mother, you are my son. And whenever I tell you something about your father, what I'm saying is the truth. And that put me in a compromising position because I did not have a relationship with my son for quite some time. And it's bothering me. Why it is bothering me is that it manifests itself in a case at the family court. And I look at the procedures and I see social workers paying attention, they're observing me, observing the mother, and I realize, well, those are trained persons and they're making an observation to send back a report to the city president of the court about your behavior. And that kind of put you in a disadvantage because you have to remind yourself, you have to maintain a level of discipline. And every time something happens in the journey, it's always pointing your fingers at men and say that they are responsible for the poor family structure we've seen taking place in Sylvester. And that is not necessarily true. And people normally encourage the women to take advantage of the situation that exists. And that put the man or men in a compromising position. So it's not always a good thing to say that men are the perpetrators of breaking down of families and poor relationship among their children and grandchildren. And that's just my experience I'm sharing with you. And I hope that people will feed into it. And that's my that's my rant for today.
All right. Thanks very much, Kingsley. We will discuss that. We discuss. All right. Thank you.
All right. So that was Kingsley DeFreitas with his commentary this morning. What you said is very true, Kingsley. I have to admit that is true because there are women who do take advantage of the situation like that. There are women who encourage the children not to have a relationship with their father or not to do certain things because they're trying to spite the father. So that does happen. Roleza, I'm gonna go straight to you.
All right, so I hear Kingsley's point, right? But I have always been of the firm belief that if a man means to be involved in his child's life, then he will find a way. All right, the family court is there to be used, and it's not just for women to use in terms of wanting to get child support, etc. But if a man means to be in his child's life, he will find a way. Now, while it is, I understand not wanting to have anything maybe to do with the mother directly, because maybe she might be toxic, maybe she might, be what's the word? She might still be harboring a lot of resentment towards the man for whatever reason, whatever the cause of the relationship ending. She might be displaying, not the best of attitudes, a negative attitude. The thing of it is that if you prioritize your child, you will find a way as a man. And to me, it's as an adult, I just cannot accept it, right? The court is there and that can be utilized. One of the other things too, I noticed that he said that the mother is responsible for them not having a relationship, or women are not responsible for, but in what ways have you reached out? And I would also say this message to women, right? I note that sometimes when a child is growing up, a mother would say certain things to the child, right? Your father is this, your father is that. To me, I don't support that and I don't encourage it, because children, as they grow, they would see which parent was actually the real problem, right? It might be the mother who was the problem. It might be the father is the problem. It might be both of them who's the problem. So I don't necessarily think that any planting of seeds need to be done, because children are going to, as they mature, as they have an understanding of male and female dynamics and the relationships, they are going to see things for themselves, right? But if you mean to be in your child's life as a man, you will find a way. And this child also needs to see the effort. Let's say you've turned up at the home, right? The child is going to see, well, daddy did turn up. Maybe daddy isn't allowed inside the house, but daddy has left maybe a basket of fruits or some groceries or something, right? The child is going to see whatever effort is going to be made. Have you gone to the school to inquire about how this child is progressing? Have you asked the principal, okay, in the presence of yourself and maybe another teacher or whatever, right? If you want for full transparency in terms of the discussion that is happening, have you asked, can I meet with you in the office to speak with my child? If you notice that you're being blocked by the mother, fathers, you can find a way.
All right. I'm glad you said that. So I did agree with Kingsley. I had something I wanted to mention, but I didn't want to mention it right after to try to take away from what he was saying. But this issue of mother, father, and child is, how do I say? Do I say it's a serious issue? Bearing all that has been said in mind, just to note that sometimes people do lie, and it would be great to have. Roleza mentioned having the third party there as a father if you still want to see the child and the mother is not allowing you. Getting the principal or getting the child's teacher, well, apart from just checking to see how the child is doing, but having the teacher as a third party or even some other person that has some sense and would not come and cause the situation to get worse. So I would also encourage that for many reasons, for accountability, for receipts, as the young people say, among other things.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes the courts would also appoint a mediator, right? If you and the mother can't speak directly, the court can appoint a mediator who would be the go-between between mother and father in terms of maybe passing on a message or delivering this or whatever. The court can appoint. So you don't necessarily, if you find that it's just too toxic to engage with whoever the partner is who is bringing the stress and bringing the drama, you can find that middle person. All right. So somebody is typing, and I want to be able to read it quickly, but they're still typing. All right. So somebody's saying courts most always favor the women. Also, what you said about the man and he must find a way is never applied to the woman. Listen to me. Well, we're talking about women. In this case, we're talking about women who are withholding their child from the man. So of course, I'm going to say it could go both ways, right? The court system is not just in favor of the woman in terms of getting the man to pull his boots up, but it's also there for a woman to pull her boots up. So of course, it's going to go both ways, but I'm speaking in the context of the scenario that was presented from Kingsley, all right? So, yeah.
On what that person just said about the court system, I've actually heard several men. I actually have friends in these situations. I have a friend in Barbados in a situation like this. I have one in Guyana, and I have people here, and they've all said that the system seems to be in favor of women, because I've had the two outside of SVG have this complaint about not being able to see their child or children and having been going to the court for years, and the mother is not complying with whatever the court says, and they have to keep going back to court, and it hasn't worked in their favor. I have this one whose child is about 8. He says he's not had the child since she was born, and he's just tired of going to court. There's this other one who is divorced and has some children with his ex-wife, and she does not even so much as answer his messages or his calls. He's not allowed to see the children. He's not he does nothing. He's not involved in any way. And he too says that he's also tired of the court system, because it's just that you keep going back for the same problem, and nothing is being done. The mother is carrying on, and nothing is seemingly.
So then that means that problem is extended even further in terms of it has to be fixed by the court, because we have to face the reality that not all women are right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think that is the starting point. Not every woman is right. And again, not every woman is a mother. And some women are vindictive. They are going to use their children against the man, So we have to have a court system that is actually not going to be looking through the eyes of a particular gender anymore, but looking at the situation for what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's it. That's it right there.
All right, so Joshua is saying that they have a level playing field in Bermuda, and if that's the case, then great, you know. But I mean, persons need to realize that it's the children who find themselves in the middle of this. Children are growing up thinking that daddy never, in this case, daddy never loved me, daddy never wanted to be there for me.
Yeah.
Then you see it spilling off into even the relationships that they have with men, where some women might just be overextending themselves and accepting anything because father's love was never really there. Or some women on the opposite side of it don't want to have anything to do with a man because they can't trust man. If they make a child for this man, they're going to be all alone in raising this child. So, everybody has to do their part and pull things up and make the situation better, from the persons involved in relationships to the judicial system. Everybody has to do their part. So,
So my final thing on this, men, as Roleza said, I believe that as well. If you want to see your child, you'll find a way. The child has a school. So long as you're not banned from the school or something, that's one place for a fact the child is going to be at school. You I don't know if you probably need to get some legal advice or whatever, but find a way to see the child, go to the child's school. You could perhaps leave money with it. If the mother doesn't want to take the money from you, perhaps leave it with the teacher and say, if you could give this to my child for break, or if he or she needs something. And I don't know you, but as she said, you can figure out a way. And for the women, I know there's this urge to want to be vindictive, because you want to try and spite the man, and it seems the best way, the easiest way to spite him is by using the child. But you have to come to some level of understanding and maturity to know that
maturity. It's actually that maturity.
Yeah, you just can't do that. Despite how much you'd want to hurt this man, figure it out, cuss him out or something, but don't use the child.
Cuss him out privately, not in front of the child, right?
Yeah,
the child don't need to know what's going on, right? They will figure it out eventually when they get older, but the child don't need to know.
Yeah, they will. And that's us on the topic here. It is now 8:01, and this time check came to us by the New Haven Funeral Home.
Death